Is Arch Manning underrated? You may be surprised to hear where Manning landed on a ranking of the best quarterbacks in college football. We've got the list next on Locked On Longhorns. Intro.
You are Locked On Longhorns, your daily podcast on the Texas Longhorns. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in. You are locked on to the Texas Longhorns. I'm your host, BK Brad Kellner, Texas grad, Austin native, and longtime sports radio host in the Lone Star State. Thank you for making Locked On Longhorns a part of your day every single day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube as well. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and tell your Longhorn friends about Locked On, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Head over to 5hourenergy.com to find more than 15 flavors to choose from. If you need one now, grab a 5 Hour Energy shot at your local grocery or convenience store. Stock up today and stay energized. Yesterday, ESPN's Adam Rittenberg released an article titled Ranking the Top 15 QBs in College Football in 2025. And he had a pretty unique method of putting together this list. Instead of just using his own opinion, he reached out to more than a dozen coaches and coordinators from around the country to help compile this list. At least that's what Adam Rittenberg says he did. Arch Manning made the cut. He's in the top 15, but he was a lot lower than I expected him to be. And my guess is he's a lot lower than you think he probably is as well. Reminder, before we dive into this ranking, Arch Manning has the second best odds to win the Heisman Trophy right now. And Texas has the second best odds to win the national championship here on March 28th. So those two things would lead you to believe that maybe Arch Manning is pretty high in that top 15. But Adam Rittenberg has Manning ranked 12th behind names like Kevin Jennings at SMU, DJ Lagway at Florida, Haynes King, the A&M transfer, who's now at Georgia Tech, and of course, 8 other signal callers as well. Before we get to Rittenberg's reasoning, I'd love to hear from y'all. If you're watching on YouTube, comment below with your thoughts. Where would you rank Arch Manning on a list of the best quarterbacks in college football right now? Would you have him higher? Would you have him lower? Or do you think Rittenberg is just right? Now let's get to the reasoning. Why he's ranked, according to this article. Quote, normally first-year starters don't appear on national lists of top quarterbacks, and there are many others who have done more than Manning in actual games, but Manning isn't your typical quarterback to evaluate. He's the next generation of the nation's most famous football family. He has undeniable big play ability, even in limited action, and he'll be entering his third year with Coach Steve Sarkisian and a Longhorns team that has made consecutive CFP appearances. Texas saw glimpses of the future last season as Manning played extensively against UTSA, Louisiana Monroe, and Mississippi State, accounting for 10 total touchdowns in those wins, but he didn't attempt a pass in Texas's regular season finale, the SEC championship, or the college football playoff. So that's why Arch Manning made the cut. Here's the what they're saying category, and I think this is Rittenberg telling you what he learned from the coaches and coordinators that he met with. Quote, Manning's usage for most of the season limited how much coaches could scout him, but his highlights, especially during the first few games, caught some attention. His ability to generate long runs and make throws on the move especially stood out. Quote, that was way more natural than I thought it was going to be. I was blown away by how effortless it looked. That coach added, going into the game, I had respect for his body size, the way he threw it, how he commanded things. But then in the game, obviously he ran well. He's going to be in the Heisman conversation for damn sure. End quote. That was one assistant coach that ESPN interviewed talking about Arch Manning. Another coach familiar with Manning's game gushed about how well he moves. Quote, he's an elite athlete. He's still a first-time starter, so people need to give him a little bit of time. End quote. So the two coaches that are on the record here said he's going to be in the Heisman conversation for damn sure. And the other one said he's an elite athlete. To me, I hear those things, I think, higher than 12th. Now, of course, it's tough because you look at most of the guys, how you look at all of the guys ahead of Arch Manning on this ranking. all of them were starters last season. Some of them are multi-year starters. If you're curious, Cade Klubnik of Austin Westlake, the starting quarterback at Clemson, came in at number 1 on this list. So Arch Manning, the only first-timer here, that's a positive sign and a sign of respect to him. But, man, I'll just say it right now. If Arch Manning isn't a top 11 QB in college football next year, the Longhorns are going to take a step back. You've got games at Ohio State and at Georgia on the schedule, and of course, another year in the SEC. Like, they need Arch to be as close to as advertised. I'm not saying he needs to win the Heisman. I'm not saying he needs to be in New York as a finalist for the Heisman Trophy. But if Texas is going to be able to overcome everything that it lost last year, I mean, the Longhorns are about to have 14, maybe 15, maybe 16 players selected in the NFL draft. They just had 21 players participate in Pro Day last week or this week. That was this Monday. Texas is losing a lot, and a lot of key figures on both sides of the ball. They're losing a ton on offense. 4 starters on the offensive line, a bunch of receivers, Jaden Blue, Gunnar Helm. Like, they need Arch Manning to be one of the best quarterbacks in America if the Horns are going to navigate through this tough schedule and get back into the college football playoff. Now, look, I'm a realist here. I understand what comes with a first-year starting quarterback. There are going to be some growing pains. There are going to be some bumps and bruises. It's not going to be a smooth ride for all 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 games, whatever Texas plays in this fall. But again, with everything that the Longhorns lost, I think Arch needs to be pretty damn good for Texas. Number 1, to make it back to Atlanta and play in that SEC championship game. And number 2, to get back into the college football playoff. And look, we all want Texas to take another step. Like, the ceiling for Arch Manning has people believing that, well, the Longhorns can not only make it to the college football playoff semifinal, where Quinn Ewers got them 2 years in a row. It's, okay, Arch Manning can elevate this offense. And all of the problems that we've had in the red zone that have cost us the last 2 years, and the inconsistencies in the run game, and the inability of the starting quarterback to throw a deep ball at an efficient level. Like, all of those things that have been holding us back, those are all gone because Arch Manning's the starter. So this team should be able to do more than what those last 2 years teams did. I mean, everybody, myself included, was clamoring for more Arch at the end of the year. I was never an Arch needs to start over Quinn. But we wanted to see Arch Manning get on the field more, especially in the red zone, especially in those short yardage situations, because we felt like, at least I felt like, y'all let me know if I'm wrong, that Arch Manning could have solved some of the issues that really plagued Texas's offense this past season. So, like, Arch Manning's got to be better than Haynes King, doesn't he? He's got to be better than a guy like DJ Lagway. He's got to be one of the top 11 quarterbacks in college football. He might have to be a top 5 or 6 quarterback in college football if Texas wants to get exactly where most of us want them to get. I was a little surprised because, I mean, I've seen other rankings that have Arch Manning as the number 1 quarterback in the country. And to me, that feels a little too lofty. I'm not trying to argue that Arch Manning should be at the top of every single one of these lists, but those lists are out there where other college football insiders, analysts, whatever you want to call him, have Manning as their top QB in America going into the 2025 season. Though there are a bunch of these lists out there, 12 is far and away the lowest that I have seen Arch Manning. Again, Kevin Jennings is 11, DJ Lagway at 10, Haynes King at 9, Nico Iamaleava at 8, despite all of his inconsistencies, Carson Beck, Sam Levitt, who of course is at Arizona State, and then your top 5, Lenore Sellers, John Mateer, OU's new starting quarterback, the transfer from Washington State. John Mateer is number 4, Garrett Nussmeier 3, Drew Aller 2, and then the aforementioned Cade Klubnik number 1. So there you go. Arch Manning, number 12. Again, comment below with your thoughts. I think that's too low, and I think Arch Manning needs to be better than that for this Texas offense to take the next step and for this Texas team to at least be as good as it's been these last 2 years. No respect. I never thought I'd be talking about Arch Manning being underrated with all of the hype and pomp and circumstance surrounding him. I didn't think we'd ever have a discussion like that before this fall, but alas, here we are. Okay, the Texas women's basketball team is 2 wins away from their first trip to the Final Four since 2003. We will preview the Longhorns Sweet 16 matchup against Tennessee next, right here on Locked On Longhorns. But first, a word from our friends at Nissan. We're all about the stats because the numbers don't lie. And when it comes to the all-new Nissan Armada Pro 4X, the numbers are on an MVP level. With the ability to tow more than 8,500 pounds, it can quite literally carry the whole team plus all of the gear wherever you need to go. It's powered by a twin-turbo V6 engine as well, so you get the strength and performance to handle highways, back roads, and everything in between. And with room for up to 8 people, the Armada Pro 4X is built for big crews, big adventures, and even bigger memories. Whether you're exploring off-road trails or rolling up to the arena, do it in style. The Armada Pro 4X has you covered with power, versatility, and style wherever you go. Take your adventures to new heights in the all-new Nissan Armada Pro 4X. Learn more at nissanusa.com. And shout out to our sponsors and friends over at FanDuel. The March Madness is still here. We're about to talk about it. FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in on the action like never before. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's 200 extra bucks to use on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories, even who's cutting down the nets. Hopefully that's Texas here in the next couple of days. The FanDuel app is so easy to use. When you win, you get paid right away. You can bet the favorites, you can bet the dogs, the spread, the money line, everything. It's all there for you. So visit FanDuel.com and get in on the college hoops action all tournament long. Welcome back to Locked On Longhorns, your team every day. The Texas women's basketball team is set for the Sweet 16. They will take on the 5th seed Tennessee Lady Vols. The Longhorns a 7.5-point favorite on FanDuel right now. You can catch the game on ABC at 2:30 tomorrow. Unlike the men's tournament, you don't have to stay up super late to watch the Sweet 16. They're putting these games in the middle of the day and on a big-time network as well. Texas and Tennessee, the battle of UTs. It's the real UT, the one we're talking about, and the fake UT. The Longhorns beat the Lady Vols in their one regular season matchup. It was a game here in Austin, and it was close and tough and tight throughout. 15 lead changes. The game was actually tied at 76 with 30 seconds to go. The All-American, Maddie Booker, hit the game-winning jumper with about 28 seconds left. Texas got a stop on defense. They made a couple of free throws. I think it was Rory Harmon who iced the game with a couple of freebies at the line, and Texas was able to hold on to win by 4. But a very close game, a game here in Austin. And oh, by the way, fake UT did not have their coach in that game. Kim Caldwell was away from the team giving birth to her child, so she didn't make the trip. So it was an assistant coach that Texas saw, and she almost did enough to lead the Lady Vols to a road victory here in Austin. Again, Texas undefeated at home this year. All 3 losses came away from Moody Center. Of course, every game moving forward will be away from Moody Center. Madison Booker had 26 points in the first game. She was great. She's going to have to be great again. You get to this round of the tournament, of course, you need contributions from everybody. But if your stars don't look like stars, you've got no shot. Tennessee is a well-balanced team. They're a great 3-point shooting team. I always get nervous going up against high-volume 3-point shooting squads in the tournament, whether it's women's or men's, because it ain't a best of 7. It ain't no best of 5. It ain't no best of 3. If you run into a team on a hot shooting night, then sayonara, season's over. Tennessee shot the 3rd most threes in the nation this year, and they made the 2nd most threes in the nation. They only shoot at about 33%, not super efficient, but they jack them up from all over the court. And Texas did a pretty good job defending the 3-point line in the first game. They're going to have to do that. And if you've watched this Longhorn team, you know the Longhorns don't shoot a lot of threes, and they don't make a lot of threes. So it's kind of contrasting styles here. Texas won that regular season game because they were plus 15 on the glass, and they were plus 20 on second chance points. Despite all that, again, this game was tied in the final minute, but the Longhorns are going to need to use their physicality down low. Taylor Jones was a monster in that first game. She had 21 points. What was interesting is Kyla Oldacre, the other big for Texas, who plays a lot, she didn't score. Only took one shot. Only played 11 minutes in the first game against the Vols. So she was great down the stretch. She's been great in this tournament. I assume she's going to make a lot more of an impact tomorrow. Maybe she can be an X factor. Not really one in the regular year, but here in the tournament, again, you need contributions from everybody. A big part of why Texas wrapped up, a share of the SEC regular season title and why they're still here playing into the second weekend of the dance is what they got from Taylor Jones and Kyla Oldacre, that 1-2 punch. And Vic Schaefer kind of had the Midas touch with going with one or the other, checked them in and out at the right time, and it's worked. Hopefully those two are working again tomorrow. So tough game. It won't be easy. I honestly think the 7.5-point line is a little much because of what we saw, again, in Austin in the regular year. This game in Birmingham, just 4 hours or so away from the campus of Tennessee. There will be more of that ugly-ass bright neon orange in the stands than what we saw in the ATX in late January. Winner of this one moves on to the Elite Eight, where they will take on the winner of the 3-seed Notre Dame, one of the teams that beat Texas, and the 2-seed TCU, former Big 12 foe. That game will take place on Monday, so hopefully we are previewing a Elite Eight game for the Longhorns instead of recapping the end of the season. That wouldn't be fun. Go show them who the real UT is. I like Texas to win. I don't know if they're going to cover, though. I think it's going to be tough and tight, but the Horns have played in a lot of those games this year, and they've won way more often than not. I think they'll find a way to get it done tomorrow as well. All right, not the only Texas sport in action this weekend. Texas baseball is back. The Longhorns tied for first place in the SEC entering the weekend. They're taking on a team that's tied for last. Should be a good sign, right? Can the Horns stay hot? We will preview the upcoming series at Mizzou that starts tonight, next on Locked On Longhorns. But first, 5-hour energy. Yeah, daylight savings, it's great. You get that extra hour, but you got to take advantage of that extra hour. And if you're getting tired before the day is done, you got to reach out and go get you a 5-hour energy. Whether you're staying up late to watch the tournament, trying to squeeze in a round of golf after work, or just trying to keep up with the 9 to 5 and the family life and everything else you've got going on, 5-hour energy gives you that quick, refreshing pick-me-up whenever you need it. I was up till midnight last night watching that crazy Texas Tech Arkansas game. Actually have a drive to make to Dallas after the show today. I will be stopping by my local convenience store and picking up a 5-hour energy to make sure I am good to go. Whatever you have going on this weekend, have a 5-hour energy by your side. Go to 5hourenergy.com to find more than 15 flavors to choose from. You can build your own 12-pack or 24-pack, have them delivered right to your door. Or if you're like me and you need one now, grab a 5-hour energy shot at your local grocery or convenience store. They're everywhere. Stock up today and stay energized with 5-hour energy.
The NCAA tournament is here, and so is the Bracket Breakdown.
Locked On Podcast Network and Amazon Fire TV channels are teaming up to deliver NCAA tournament coverage like never before. Watch studio shows featuring former players and Locked On's local experts as they guide you through every upset, buzzer beater, and bracket matchup.
Stream it all for free on Amazon Fire TV channel. Search Bracket Breakdown to see it all for free.
It's your team every day.
Yes, indeed. It's your team every day. Your Texas Longhorns are playing today, and they'll be playing every day this weekend on the diamond at Mizzou. Texas reigniting a rivalry with an old Big 12 conference foe. The first series between Texas and Missouri since 2012. I mentioned it before the break. Texas currently tied for first place in the conference, sitting at 5-1. Mizzou tied for last in the SEC at 0-6. You know who they're tied with? The Aggies. Yeah, the preseason number 1 team. Sorry. Actually, no, I'm not sorry at all. Whenever we get the chance to take a shot at the Ags, we take a shot at the Ags right here on Locked On Longhorns. So on paper, these are some games Texas should win. Mizzou got swept by LSU, a team that Texas just beat 2 out of 3 times last weekend. Mizzou got swept by Ole Miss last weekend. And in those 6 losses, Mizzou has only lost by fewer than 3 runs 1 time. So they haven't been winning games. They also haven't really been all that competitive in conference play. Now, they did pick up a nice win over Illinois on Tuesday. They're 9-14 overall. They're 5-7 at home. So it's not like they haven't beaten anybody. And it is baseball we're talking about here. I mean, Texas just lost to UTSA. You see teams lose midweek games to teams that are worse than Missouri all of the time. So in this sport, if you don't have your A game, you can slip up. But you feel like this is a series that Texas absolutely has to have. Now, you've got so much more baseball beyond this weekend, but in this tough and tight SEC, you've got a four-way tie for first place right now. There were so many good teams in this league. You obviously want to sweep, but you have to find a way to win a series against the team that was picked to finish last in this conference and the team that probably will finish last in the conference. We do not complain about series wins on Locked On Longhorns. There might be some disappointment that you can't take all three if you don't take all three, but just find a way to win this series. Hopefully Texas can keep it rolling. One of the top offenses in the country, the Longhorns 22nd in slugging percentage, 26th in home runs per game. Ethan Mendoza batting at the top of the lineup has been money. He's hitting 400 on the season, had 3 hits in that Tuesday night run rule victory over Sam Houston. We'll see if Rylan Galvan can keep it hot. 9 homers to lead the Longhorns. I mean, Texas has been getting contributions from up and down their lineup, but the pitching numbers are even better than the hitting numbers. And Jared Spencer will get the ball for the Horns tonight. Hopefully he can bounce back. His worst start of the season, his first loss of the season, came 1 week ago today in that series opener against LSU, a game Texas lost 8-2. Jared Spencer, 5 innings, 4 runs, not horrible, but his worst performance of the year. Also walked 3 guys. I think gave up 5 hits. Just he wasn't himself. Hopefully he can bounce back and be the Jared Spencer we saw in his previous 4 starts, because he looked like one of the best pitchers in the conference. And he's got those ridiculously high strikeout numbers and just filthy stuff. Hopefully that fastball and hopefully that slider could be a little bit more effective and a little bit more in control tonight on the road than it was against the other Tigers that Texas saw last week. Still having a great year. All the faith in the world in Jared Spencer. He's 2-1 with a 3.13 ERA. We'll see if he can get back on track. Luke Harrison will start tomorrow. Haven't seen anything official for Sunday. Last Sunday was Ruger Riojas, who has been coming out of the pen mostly this year. But the way he looked against one of the best teams in college baseball, I think Ruger Riojas, who did not pitch in the midweek game on Tuesday, may be in line to get another start. We'll see. The Horns might need him out of the pen today or tomorrow, but it goes without saying. You hope that you can get good, deep performances from Jared Spencer and Luke Harrison so you don't have to tax your bullpen too much. But things obviously pick up from here, because after this one, another reason why you want to take care of business this week, you've got Georgia coming to town. One of those teams that's tied with you for first place in the conference, one of the top 10 teams in America, a team that just went on the road and swept Florida this past weekend. Them Dogs, they look legit. Georgia, unfortunately, has had Texas's number in a lot of sports this year. So, you want to take care of business against the bad teams, really beef up your standings when you can. There aren't a lot of give-me series. And again, Mizzou is capable of beating you. So Texas can't have that mindset of, we could just waltz in here and play like crap and we'll still find a way to win a series. Can't think like that. We saw what happened against UTSA when the Horns weren't buttoned up. They got to be buttoned up against Mizzou. By the way, Missouri has beaten Texas 5 times in a row. That dates all the way back to 2012. These two teams haven't played a lot in the last decade and change, but you'd like that losing streak to go away today, and you'd like Texas to maybe start a 3-game winning streak tonight. All right, good stuff. Good luck to Texas baseball. Good luck to Longhorn softball, Texas women's hoops, big recruiting weekend. There's a lot going on this weekend on the 40 acres and surrounding the Texas Longhorns. We're talking about it every single day on Locked On Longhorns. We appreciate y'all making Locked On Longhorns a part of your day. I appreciate you making Locked On Longhorns a part of your day every single day. Check out the Locked On College Basketball Show with Isaac Shade and Andy Patton. The tournament continues. What a wild night last night. Hopefully more of the same this weekend. If you want to be the most informed college basketball fan throughout the madness, find Locked On College Basketball on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast. We'll be back on Monday to recap just about everything. We got you covered. But until then, thanks again for watching. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. Horns up, mics off. We'll see y'all next time on Locked On Longhorns.